Emotion, which is suffering, ceases to be suffering as soon as we form a clear and precise picture of it. There's a quote from Victor Frankl. He's quoting some guy named Spinoza. But if you've never read A Man's Search for Meaning, which took too long to pick it up and read it, it's a classic. It's about Victor Frankl, who was a Holocaust survivor. He wrote this book shortly after he made it out of the Holocaust, made it out of his liberation camp. And it's interesting because you can read a lot of books. I think I read one called something about Treblinka, but that one was mostly just horrific. This one was more about a lot more positive. And he says that a lot throughout the book. He says normally you'll read a lot about the horror. That's not what he talks about. And you can't skip over how horrific it was. But he focuses a lot on the psychology and the mindset of what was going on for someone in a concentration camp. And that quote I said earlier is the theme I really want to hit on, which is that problems are much less of a problem when you get a clear idea of what they are. Or some people like to say, conquering fear is defining it. I read that in 4-Hour Workweek, which is right behind me, that orange right there. So the point of that is that we most fall victim to the problems which we're completely unaware are actually just problems. We think that we are the problems and that the problems and us are one thing. Whereas in reality, it helps me a lot to realize if I'm agitated at someone, it's literally just a chemical release inside of my body. It's nothing more. It's never really that serious. And if you look at it even further, you being agitated at something your friend says, what's really happening there? You're perceiving something through your eyeballs, and then you are literally labeling it as a bad scenario and allowing that to make you feel bad and uneasy. Why would you do that? Why wouldn't we want to just feel good? And I'm not saying that's easy, but that's kind of the thought process I go through. And in the book, Victor Frankl, he actually touches on, and trust me, he was in a way worse situation than I have ever been in and hopefully will ever be in. But the biggest thing is the search for meaning is really a search for purpose. And one thing I think a lot of people need to be reminded of, what is that one thing that they really want to do? And not the thing that they're currently doing, possibly, but the thing that they actually deep down really want to do. If it is a YouTube channel, it doesn't have to consume your entire life, but if there's something in your brain that you've always wanted to do and you're not doing it, there's going to be a void there inevitably that wants to be filled. And I don't think you can really be content if you're not doing it. So for me, I always wanted to do YouTube, but I was scared of what people were going to think. Pretty stupid, I know. But even still, when I started it finally, it was a huge relief because I could go throughout my day and just not have to think, what if I had a YouTube channel? It's that simple. And the meaning that has come out of just making a simple YouTube video every day, because I know that it'll turn into something massive one day. It bleeds into other areas of my life. It fills almost every other area of my life with passion, which I didn't have prior. And so the point is, if there's a thing that you think you'd be passionate about and that you think if you were on your deathbed looking back, you'd wish you'd done, the longer you wait to do that thing, the more joy you're robbing yourself of. So we hopefully won't be in concentration camps. So taking from this book and trying to apply it to a modern society, not in a mass genocide, my point and the big thing I took from it was how important it is to have a meaning or a purpose. Cats are meowing. And all that I would say to you really, really put some serious thought into what that thing is that you aren't doing that you've always wanted to do, and take the first step to doing it.